Hello, hello, welcome back. I'm Tasha, and today we are sewing up a quilt block that is originally published in 1933. You know me, I love going down these little historic rabbit holes of crafting some blocks that are, 10s, 20s, decades, centuries old. I think it is just so cool and a little thread through time. So today we are sewing a block out of one of my favorite books, the Encyclopedia of Pieced Quilt Blocks. This one is number 2122 and it was originally published in 1933 in the first colorway, and the second colorway was published in 1960, and I did do the 1960 colorway. So this is the block we're making today. The one published in 1933 would have had this dark green in the center, but I kind of liked the white center. So that is called the Cypress. And so let's get into how I made this block. But first, just a small housekeeping item. There is a free PDF that has all the instructions on how to cut and even piece these blocks. I gave you full construction instructions right in the pattern. So go check that out. It's going to have all the cutting instructions for both a 6-inch finish block and a 10-inch finish block. Today we are sewing the 10-inch finish block. Okay, so first up, we cut out all of our pieces. I'll put on the screen here the different cuts you need to make. In the little chart I put in my patterns, I usually like to leave a little note that is use this as part of your 2 at a time, half square triangles, or your 4 at a time flying geese. So you know when you're cutting kind of what its ultimate purpose is going to be. So after you have all your fabric cut out, we'll start with the half square triangles because those are I guess I would say the easiest, at least for me. They're the most common. So I like to do the 2 at a time method. So that's how this is written. I know other people, you can do 4, 8, 16. I just like a good old 2 at a time. I'm not sure why, but this is my default. So you mark the wrong side of the fabric. I did mine on the white. Hopefully I got the right side. And you mark a diagonal. Every single diagonal you're going to be marking in this block, you're going to be sewing 1/4 of an inch on either side and then cutting on on the line you've drawn. I am using my Cotton Cuts pen from my Cotton Cuts mystery quilt. While I didn't love the mystery quilts per se, I love the pen that it came with. So I just use what I've got. I don't use any fancy fabric marking pens. Just a regular standard pen always works for me in this process, because remember, you're going to be cutting on that line, and so you shouldn't see it anyway. So after you sew up your half square triangles, keep in mind on the first page of this pattern, I tell you what size you need to trim everything to. In this case, we're trimming the half square triangles for the bigger blocks to 3 inches. How I do that is I generally line up the horizontal line on my ruler and trim it a smidge bigger than 3, and then I flip it and I do the same thing and do it to 3. I have no idea if that's the proper way to trim half square triangles. That's just the way I've always done it, and it works for me, and they came out great. So trim in your favorite way to doing half square triangles. Now, next up is the flying geese. I would say that goose is my nemesis in sewing, but I feel like I've tackled it. So isn't that funny? Like, I love the curves, but the flying geese always give me a little bit of anxiety. So I like the 4 at a time method. I spent a lot of time writing the instructions in here, and I would say that the most important thing that when you're writing these instructions or reading these instructions and following along is that you pay attention to how you have your marked lines. So when you do the first one, you have the big square, and then you have the lines kind of going across the diagonal, and your 2 little squares will overlap a little bit. Totally normal. And then just like you do on the half square triangles, you sew 1/4 of an inch on either side. And then once you're done with that, you'll cut on that ink line and you'll press it open, and it'll kind of look like a little heart. It's pretty cute. Now you need to take one of the little squares and line it up with the heart, and it's important that line goes if you have it set out on your table like a heart, that line goes up and down on that small triangle. If you do that, you're good to go. So please look at the instructions, because I have made sure that those lines are obvious on there. So if you're marking your fabric and you're marking this and you're following along, you're going to be good to go. So actually sewing up these flying geese is probably the easiest part of this. And the trickier part, I would say, is trimming. However, I spent too much time doing quilt math. And in step 9 of the flying geese, you will see that I even say what line you need to line yours up on the ruler. So for the 10-inch block, we're going to line up our flying geese point with the 2 3/4 inch line and the 1/4 inch line. So I have a picture of it here. I will show you. I have diagrams in the pattern, and if you would like a more in-depth, slow version of how to do a 4 at a time flying geese, let me know. I would love to make that for you if that is something that interests you. So we're going to line up the peak of that flying geese with the 2 3/4 inch line and the 1/4 inch line along the top, and trim the top and the side, and then flip it around and do it again. Also, just a little plug, I have a membership where we do Zooms a couple times a month, at least once a month. I'm trying to get it to 2 times a month, but we're constantly in there chatting. And if you would like some personalized help from a bunch of quilters that will be happy to help, please come and join us. We will help you stay on track with your quilting goals and just be a good vibes only place for you to sew. That you can go to clubhouse.tashaquilts.com, and of course, just like everything else, I will leave a link to that down below. So now it's time to assemble our rows. We've gotten through all of the hard stuff. All of our little subunits are trimmed and looking good. So for the actual assembly of the individual rows, I don't worry about clipping. I just line them up nice and zip them through. So when I'm making each individual subunit, I'm typically pressing to the dark side, or whatever side is like more naturally like the fabric speaking to me and telling me how to press it. But now when we're sewing the individual subunits together to make the rows, I will be pressing my seams open. I recently started pressing seams open, and I am a huge fan. I know that not everybody is a huge fan. So if you're not, just, press your rows in alternating directions so that they'll nest together. But for me, I like to press them open. So I assemble my 3 rows based off the picture in the pattern. I think I have a bigger one too. Yes, there's a nice big block in here. Assembly direction, make sure your points are pointing away from the middle. And then now it's time to assemble the block itself. So when I'm assembling the actual block itself, I like to do what I call a clip and flip. I clip the rows just barely together, not a full 1/4 inch, so that I can flip them open and then just make sure that the seams look aligned. It is somewhat easier for me when they're pressed open for me to be able to make that line up. But when it's so important that the blocks match up, and like it does in this unit, I really like to do the clip and flip. So we'll clip and flip those, and that will be, and then once the block is all together, I am just pressing to the, whichever way the block is speaking to me. So I would say that when you look at this, and maybe I'm tooting my own horn, but when you're looking at it from far away, you would say, oh, wow, that looks great, right? You can't see anything, like especially as it's moving. Everything looks fine. But I do want to show that I made a couple little mistakes in here, but we don't worry about that, okay? We just keep going. So first, on a couple of the first blocks I trimmed, when you're supposed to cut on the pen or the ink mark, I goofed up. And some of my seam allowances were too big, some were too small. We just carried on, no big deal. And the second one is in this block here. I don't know, it might be easier to put a picture, but you can see right here that this white space shouldn't be there, right? Like this triangle should go all the way to the edge. All the other ones seem to do that. It's just that one. But like I said, if you're looking at it and it's moving all around, you'll just say, oh, that looks like a great quilt block. So it's all right. This is fine. You're a human being, and little human beings make errors and their points don't line up. I don't know why it doesn't line up, because I feel like I was really careful and it was irking me. I am also human and things are allowed to irk me. But in the end, this is fine. We let it go. we move on. I mean, that's what I want to do. If you want to pick it apart, you do you. But for here, we don't seam rip unless it's an emergency. Just like I'm not running unless it's an emergency. If you see me running, you run in the same direction. It's an emergency. You see me pull out my seam ripper, something bad's happened in here because I don't seam rip for the fun of it. Okay? So yes, grab the free PDF. I hope that this helped. Let me know if you have interest in, I could make a video on the flying geese method, and I can go really slow and show you how I make a 4 at a time flying geese. I can make a video about how I take blocks from the Encyclopedia of Peace quilt blocks and then get them into EQ8 so that I can, or into Affinity, and size them the way I want them so I can get the math to work right. Whatever, or if you just want an in-depth tutorial on those softwares, I love them. But I'm happy to make those videos. And next week's Quilting 101 collab video is going to come from Becca. So go check her out next week. And I'm going to leave the link to my other quilt blocks that I've made out of this book for you right up here. I hope that you are taking care of yourself because you deserve it. And I will talk to you soon. Bye.